So fine, we'll move for the discussion of the chapter called as a glimpse of India. That is what the topic we will discuss now. The glimpse of India. So we'll start discussion all those three topics or three units which have been pointed in this particular topic. One is called as a what do we say that a baker from Goa, and the second one is called as a Kurg, and the third one is called as a tea from Assam. So all those topics are there which we will start discussion one after another. Okay. Spandan, are you there? Yes, he is there. Okay. Glimpses of India. So I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anyone have any kind of a doubt, please do ask me. So what the meaning of glimpses here? The meaning of glimpses can be called as a remembering or called as a kind of a portrait or a picture, right? So when you say that the glimpses of India, so this tries to give us the idea about what some ideas or some memories of past, right? About the country called India, right? And here it's also indicating the images, right? The images of India. So when we are talking about the images, it refers to what? It refers to certain activities, right? Certain people, certain places, right? So which are actually creating the country famous, right? For their own belongingness, for their own means region, or own means what do we say that? Own art and craft, right? For that they are popular. Now let's discuss in class that about this particular topic, glimpses of India, and we will go for the first one. The first one is a baker from Goa. So, but before we go for that topic called as a baker from Goa, certain things are there which supposed to be discussed. The first one is called as a what images of people and of places come to your mind when you think of our country. So if you think about the country called India, you will find out in India you have a different places, like in Odisha, Koraput or Kandhamal district, or you if you go to Kerala, or if you go to Karnataka, if you go to Tamil Nadu, if you go to even the place called as a Goa, right? So you would find out the kind of a culture, the kind of profession, or the kind of activities they do, right? And the kind of substances relate to the food, or means art and craft, and also called as places which are familiar with the what do we say that historical monuments. So for which means our country gets renowned, right? So those are the things actually coming to our mind. What parts of India have you lived in or visited? Can you name some popular tourist destinations? So obviously different people have visited to different places in the country, right? So and they also find out those of the places are called as a very popular, and they like to visit those of the places again and again, right? let's say that if you talk about uh, our state, Odisha. So people from the various states come to the state called Odisha to means to take the to visit the place called as a Puri, right, which is renowned. Uh, and we, as the Odia people, so also visit to Bengal. We visit to also place called as a Goa or Delhi. So for variety of region, and we believe that what these are the places uh, considering tourist destination, popular tourist destination. So you may know that apart from the British, the Dutch and the French, the Portuguese have also played a part in the history of our country. Can you say which parts of India show French and Portuguese influences? So this is the part of your bookish question. So take your time and answer to this. Can you say which parts of India grow tea and coffee? If you look into it, so definitely the answer is laid in a book itself. So when you are talking about tea, Assam, coffee means Karnataka, or called as nearby that Assam also, right? So let's come to the first one, a baker from Goa. What is that baker means? The meaning of baker is indicating to a kind of a profession cultivated by people of Goa, right? Not all the people, but you can say that some people who have taken it as their profession, right? And this particular excerpt or this particular text is trying to give us a pen portrait, uh, small description of a traditional Goan village baker. Traditional Goan village baker means how the Goan people, right? Goan people involve themselves in such kind of a means of profession who still has an important place in its society. It's not the kind of a profession they started in the 20th century. It is the kind of a profession which uh, held back in 19th century, right? So let's go back to the text of it. What does it say? Our elders are often heard reminiscing. Reminiscing means what? Reminiscing nostalgically. It means called as when you think about your involvement with the certain people in the past, like let's say that grandmother, grandfather, or father's father, or grandfather's father, so with whom we have attached so much, but after their death and after 20 years or 30 years, right, one day we means remember, we remember them and we feel like what means we feel like what missing them a lot, right? So the author is stating here that elders are our elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically. Reminiscing nostalgically means sometimes they think fondly of the past. Fondly means what? Now they miss their past moments, or they think that how beautiful their past moment, past life was, right? So that is what called as reminiscing nostalgically, and elders do remember them often about those good old Portuguese days. The Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread. So uh, the author is stating about what the Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread means. It is indicating about how the Portuguese people who have the habit of uh, taking food like bread, right? Famous loaves of bread. So because of the Portuguese people, bread means bread got its famous. Those eaters of loaves, those eaters means the Portuguese who used to eat a huge amount of loaves of bread might have vanished, but the makers are still there. So maybe the Portuguese are not present, but at the same time, their food is still present here. So those eaters of loaves might have vanished. It means they disappeared. Who disappeared? Portuguese are not present, but the makers are still there. It means those who create, or those who make the excuse me, those who make those loaves of bread, they are still present. We still have amongst us the mixers, right? The molders and those who bake the loaves. So mixers, molders, what do you mean by that? It means that the place, the instruments which are involved for preparing loaves of bread, right? Those of the things are still present. Those age old means called as a very past or old time. Those age old, time tested furnaces still exist. Age old, time tested furnaces means uh, in a limited time, how the things have been done, those of the things are still present. And the certain certain things are helpful for what preparing the bake of preparing the loaves of bread, right? And it's not about the present day situation. It's called as age old means from the past to till today it has been continuing. The fire in the furnaces, you understand, that's called as a kind of a means a place where uh, fire is constructed, and above of it a metal sheet is also put, and on that how the loaves of means bread have been prepared. So the fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished. Extinguished means what? Not been vanished or disappeared, right? The third and the jingle of the third and jingle of it means how the bakers who used to carry those loaves of bread, right? And while they are coming, so they make the kind of means sounds and the kind of appearance is nothing but the symbol of the traditional baker, right? And it is also pointed that the third and jingle of the traditional baker's bamboo, right? So they are nothing but the symbol, heralding his. Heralding means they are announcing, right? Through the third, through the means you can say that jingling sound, right? So they are announcing that they arrive in the morning time, right? They can still be heard in some places, right? So as it was telling about past moment, it was telling about the past moments, so which were very old profession, but the writer is stating that this particular profession is still present in some of the places in Goa. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. So this is the kind of a profession means father means might be dead, father might be dead, but son still carries this family profession. Which profession? That's called as a preparing or baking loaves of bread, right? These bakers are even today known as padder. So who was known as a padder? Now bakers are known as padder. So where? Now in Goa. So in Goa means if you say means the bakers are known as padder. So the author stated that, or the author reminded that during their childhood in Goa, the baker used to be our friend, right? So companion and guide, friend, companion and guide. Who? Now these padder, these bakers, right? So they are called as a friend, companion and guide to the writer. He used to come at least 2 times in a day. Once when he set out in the morning on his selling round. So uh, the first thing is called as he joined in the morning time, and it was the time of the selling the bread, right? So he used to make a round of that village, right, or that place. He visit to one house, and then after he sold everything, so again he returned after emptying his huge basket, right? So the jingling thought of his bamboo woke us up from sleep, and we ran to meet and greet him. The author stated that when they used to come, so they make the certain jingling third of his bamboo. Jingling third means that called as a musical sound, right, of his bamboo. So bamboo, you understand, that's called as a big and also stick type, right? Big in size and stick type. So they make a kind of a means box where they keep that means particular, what do we say that uh, particular pot types, right? Where they keep uh, all those bread, right? Baking bread. So his bamboo woke us up from sleep, and we ran to meet and greet him. Why was it so? Was it for the love of the loaf? So the author made a question, that why did they hurry to run, or why did they run to meet and greet him? So now he pointed that now because there is something. He also made a certain statement. Was it for the love of the loaf? Not at all. He said that it was not because of the loaf of the bread. Not at all. The loaves were bought by some paskin or bastin. So it is called as a paskin or bastin, is indicating to the maid servant of the house. Right? They used to collect those loaves of bread. The maid servant of the house. What we desired for were those bread bangles which we chose carefully. Sometimes it was sweet bread or special milk. Like, let's say that you might remember that when you go to a shop, you find different chocolates are present. But the chocolate that attracts us, which were designed, which were seeming colorful. Likewise, the author also pointed the same, that when that particular person come with or that padder or backer, right, comes at the same time, he made certain jingling sound, or jingling sound which was nothing but the symbol of waking us from sleep. And they do not like the it's not about that the love of the loaf for which they go to him, meet him and greet him. They go to him because they find out certain different kind of a bread they find out, which were specially made, right? That may be sweet bread of a special made, right? The author stated that this is the specific answer. The author also pointed the baker made his musical entry on the scene with the jang jang. The baker, so the padder, made his musical entry on the scene. Means when he came to the particular house, so at the same time he made a certain kind of a means sign. What are the signs? Those signs are called as a jang jang sound of its special made bamboo stop, right? So bamboo stop is called as the kind of substance which was hitting to the ground and creating the kind of a sound, right? Jung jung sound of its special made bamboo staff. One hand supported the basket on his head like this, and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. So one other banged the bamboo means so which is touching to the ground, and that creates the sound. He would greet the lady of the house with good morning. So the patter or the backer of Goa, right, greeting to the lady of the house, and saying that good morning, and then place his basket on the vertical bamboo. So like nowadays you would find out at the roadside or at the street how the people are selling the salads, right? And the kind of substance they keep it, and on that uh, a bamboo staff they put, right? So you would also find out nearby any of the park side. So the author stated that then he placed his basket on the vertical bamboo. We kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke. We kids, when the author was telling that it was the kind of a reminiscence, nostalgically understood that the author was remembering, right, the days when he was kid and how he was pushing all these other friends, right, aside with a mild rebuke. Mild rebuke means not severely pushing others. Mild means what? Slowly he tries to push others and entering to the person, or entering near to that particular loaf basket, and the loaves would be delivered to the servant. And the loaves would be delivered to the servant, but we would not give up. So once the loaves were delivered to the servant, right? So the servant leave the place, but we would not give up. We try to get get our designed, special made sweet bread, right? So we would climb a bench on the parapet. Parapet is called as a kind of a higher position on the side, on the ground, and peep into the basket, looking into the basket. That peeping means called as looking inside the basket. Somehow I can still recall the typical smell of those loaves, right? Even I could remember when I was a kid, right? At the same time, we used to pay 50 paisa and 1 rupees, and we would get a big, long size, uh, beautifully designed bread, right? So, which was crispy and also cracks, right? I love that. We usually put, still today also, people come by cycle and they used to sell in our home. Uh, so that is what the author stated, looks for the elders and the bangles for the children. So I can still recall the typical smell, fragrance means called as a smell of those words. Looks for the elders and the bangles for the children. Right. Then we did not even care to brush our teeth or wash our mouths properly. And why should we do that? So the author was telling that. So uh, the bangles were so tasty that we do not even hesitate to uh, wash our mouths and brush our teeth. And why should we do that? Who would take the trouble of plucking the mango leaf? Right. Usually in the slum areas, you would find out they do not have the brush. What they do, they plug the mango leaf for the toothbrush and they use it. Why was it necessary at all? So the writer also stated that what is the use of brushing our teeth? Right? It is not necessary. The tiger never brushed his teeth, so this makes a kind of a humorous. Hot tea could wash and clean up everything so nicely after all. So this gives us the kind of a idea that how the writer was means uh, quite missing or really missing his childhood days, and he was really enjoying uh, the moment of what spending time with the padders, right, or bakers. So okay, let me check like anyone. Okay. So I'm continuing with this. Uh, am I clear, everyone? Anyone has any doubt? Please do ask.
No, sir.
Okay. So please do ask me any question if you have any kind of a doubt. So marriage gifts are meaningless. The second part is stated about what? Now, like we find out lots of unique ways of giving gifts, right? And this one is also stating certain unique things, like marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as the bowl. So in Goa, right, the author stated that means the sweet bread which is known as the bowl, and that's supposed to be used in the marriage as a gift. Just as a party or a feast loses its charm without bread, not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. So you can draw the thought, like in marriage, gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as the bowl, just as a party or a feast loses its charm without bread. So you can draw the idea how important in Goa, how important this sweet bread in Goa and these backers or this padder, right? Not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. So, as we are talking about marriage, so how this sweet bread, these sandwiches, these cakes are playing bigger role uh, compared to other or bigger role than that other food item. The author stated that the lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. Sandwiches, cakes and bowling hats, right? Cakes and bowling hats means these are called as the two different items, are a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. Therefore, the presence of the baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. So the author through this paragraph tries to justify why these bakers are necessary, or baker's furnace is essential part of the village, because in different occasions, right, people demand the different items like cakes, bowling hats, sandwiches, or you talk about uh, sweet bread, all these things. The baker or bread seller of those days, the baker or bread seller of those days had a peculiar dress. Now, the author started discussing about the appearance of this pattern, or the kind of a dress they wear. The baker or bread seller of those days had a peculiar dress known as the kabai. So kabai is the name of the dress that they wear. It was a single piece long frock reaching down to the knee. Like you must have known, uh, when people nowadays, like it's called as a nightgown, right? Nightgown. So likewise, means these pattern also wearing a kind of a dress which is covering their, means shoulder to till the knees, right? So in our childhood, we saw bakers wearing a shirt and trousers which were shorter than full length. That can be called as a one third, right? So in our childhood, we saw bakers wearing a shirt and trousers, like that's called as a completely loose pajamas type, which were shorter than full length ones and longer than half pants, right? So longer than half pants means that's called as a one third of the uh, dress. Even today, anyone who wears a half pant which reaches just below the knee, it means called as a one third, invites the comment that he is dressed like a pattern. It means it is a kind of a critical comment. So the author finally pointed the baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month. It means uh, he came at the morning time, and he uh, went with what do we say that he went with the empty baskets, right? But does he get his money? The author stated that the baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month. Monthly account used to be recorded on some wall in pencil, right? So baking was positively a profitable profession in the old age. The baker and his family never got hungry, you can say. Why? Now he, his family, and his servants always looked happy and prosperous. Like if you go to any of the hotel, you won't find out the people of the hotel gets hungry. That's called as a, or gets starved, right? They do not get hunger, right? So why? Because foods are always with presence with them, right? So that is what it is pointed. He, his family, and his servants always looked happy and prosperous. The plump physique means called as a fatty body, or called as a appearance, which is looking like pleasant, calm, uh, prosperous. Even today, any person with a jackfruit-like physical appearance. So author made a critical comment. Jackfruit is nothing but referring to the way the jackfruit looks like, right? Bigger in size, right? So if you find out any of the person whose physical appearance is exactly like jackfruit, means big in size or belly comes out, is easily compared to a baker, right? So all total, the author is trying to justify, right? Uh, his motive is not to criticize or make a kind of a comment to these people, but trying to uh, picturize the place called as a Goa, and stating about uh, stating about the old age profession, right? And how that old age profession creates a charm and creates prosperous, and of still also that profession is going on, and also that becomes one of the symbol to that particular place, right? That is what he is trying to tell us. So while he was trying to give that description, he is trying to uh, recollect the memory of his childhood days and his meeting with these padders or bakers, and the way they are dealing their profession. They're selling the loaves of bread to the people, and also their meeting and greetings to the all those people, and whatever they were selling, how those of the things are uh, creating charm to the writer's childhood age, and means, uh, how that turns into renown, or called as a getting into fame, right? All those things he is trying to discuss in this particular chapter called as a baker from Goa. So here Lucio Rodriguez, who is uh, simply writing a kind of an essay, right, that that can be called as an essay, or can be considering as a one of the diary of its past memory, which is beautifully discussed here. I hope you understood. Any doubt, any query, please do ask me. Hello?
No, sir, understood.
Any other?
No, sir.
Okay. So you guys understood everything, no? Let me go for some questions to ask, and then after we will wind up. And the next class, we will go for the second one of it. Glimpses of India, yes. Okay, can you tell me that what is the tone of the narrator? What is the tone of the narrator? Is it a sad, critical, carefree, serious?
Eh, eh,
Is it carefree? Okay, I'll ask one question to one student. Okay, my first question to whom? Yeah, please be there. Huh? So my first question to Amrita. I'll start like ABCT onwards. So just tell me, Amrita, what do you learn about the financial condition of the bakers of Goa? What do you learn about the financial condition of the bakers of Goa? Amrita? Amrita, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
My question to you, what do you learn about the financial condition of the bakers of Goa?
So it was prosperous and like well off.
So if it is a 4-mark questions or 3-mark questions, will you give the answer like this? Anyone else? Okay. After Amrita, who else is there? Bedika. Answer me. B. Bedika.
And what was the question?
The question is called as what do you learn about the financial condition of the bakers of, or what was the question I said? What do you learn about the financial condition of the bakers of Goa? What do you learn about the financial condition of the bakers of Goa?
And the financial conditions of the bakers of the were pretty good. So can I say?
Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? Miracle.
So may I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So the financial conditions of the baker of Goa was quite good at the old times, because that time they never starved in real, and the baker usually collected the bills and the bills of their sellings at the end of the month. The monthly accounts were recorded the on some wall with pencil. The baking was indeed a profitable profession for them uh, in those times, and the servants always looked happy and prosperous. So, in this way, we can understand that the financial condition was quite good of them.
Okay. Anyone else who would like to make it in a very well versed? Okay. Let me point out, baking was a profitable profession uh, to be in the older age. First point. So you give your opinion that it was a profitable profession to be in the older age. Second is called the bread used to be an integral part. It is the main part of every Goan tradition and festivals. Second part. Therefore, the fire in the baker's furnace never extinguished. As a result, the baker and his family never had to face the situation where they had to starve or stay hunger. Instead, the baker and his family and even the servants, they looked happy and prosperous. These are the points you're supposed to use while you are describing about this particular question's answer. Right. Now, my second question, what legends are associated with the origin? No, it would be different, right? Mhm. Okay. Question is, baking was considered essential in a traditional Goa village. What reasons does the writer give to support his point? Okay, my question to Spandan Bhagi. Okay. Yes, Pali, can you give me the answer? Baking was considered essential in a traditional Goa village. What reason does the writer give to support his point?
Sir, as bread was an important part of the food of the Goan people, they used as they used bread as their marriage gifts, and the ladies of the house prepared sandwiches on their daughter's engagement, and the cakes and bolinas were also for the Christmas as well, for the festivals. So that's why it is considered as the most essential part of the Goan village.
Okay, everyone agrees with it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. My next question to Sneha. Actually, Sneha, Soumya, these are the students are not opening their mouth. I don't understand like why. Uh, Fine, no issue. Sneha, can you tell me who is the writer of this particular text? Who is the writer of this particular text? Sneha, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me who is the writer of this particular text?
Sir, Lucia Rodriguez.
Okay, fine. Can you tell me that those eaters might have vanished, but the makers are still there? What do you mean by that? Uh, Soumya Sefalika. Those eaters
Sir,
might
could
have.
you repeat?
Somya, Safalika. Those
Yes, sir, I'm asking for the question.
those eaters might have vanished, but the makers are still there. Go ahead. So what kind of a tone that you find out here? Those eaters might have vanished, but the makers are still there. What kind of a sense you draw here? Somya Safalika. Okay, Saswat.
The tone
Go ahead.
of the narrator is neither harsh nor pleasant.
Okay. Beside that,
And he is referring to the people who came to eat, and after eating loaves, they left the place, but the maker will still be there.
okay. No, fine. Swati, can you tell me that? Swati Sagarika. Swati, can you tell me that? Means, what do you think that what does the writer try to discuss through this line that eaters might have vanished, but the makers are still there? Swati Sagarika.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
he's telling that the bakers who bake the loaves are still there.
Yeah, that's what is the question. Makers are still there. Eaters have vanished. What does he try to indicate through this?
So will I try?
Okay, Saswat, try. Tell.
So the poet is trying to tell that the Portuguese from the old days have left our country, but the bread or the ovens from which they made those breads are still there, and the bakers also exist who make.
That is what is the question is pointed. Okay, Spandan, Spandan, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me I'm repeating the question. Those eaters might have vanished, but the makers are still there. What is the author's expression on this point or on this statement?
The author wants to say that the bakers who were living from the long time had tried to protect their traditional culture by practicing various activities there, right, by making bread. The author want to give a moral lesson here that don't forget about your culture and tries to protect it as much.
Okay, let me give you a simple answer to this. Those eaters might have vanished, but the makers are still there. The author tries to present a hope, right? The author is remembering. First thing is called as the author is remembering the past and stating the idea that when it all started during the time of Portuguese, right? Whose extreme love for this means a loaf of bread. So, or loaves of bread. And what happened? Now they vanished, they disappeared, they left the place, right? But the but the profession was still there. It means the author present remembering the past about the Portuguese people and also presenting that the hope is still continuing. The hope is still continuing means now people still means looking for those loaves of bread, and some people are also following the profession of their fathers or their forefathers. That is what he tries to present. One is called as a nostalgic, remembering the Portuguese bringing this loaves of bread, and hope for the what? Now hope for this continuation of tradition, the profession, which is a continuing still today. That's what. Well, very good. Good one. I actually glad for the answer of Huj, means Spandan, who tried to make it similar of mine. Great. Okay. Can you tell me? I'm just giving you one of the questions that's called as reminiscing, which is used in your chapter. Can you tell us what is the meaning of reminiscing? Meaning of reminiscing.
Recollecting.
Recollecting. Okay. Okay. So I have another question to whom? Whom did I have not asked question? Yes. Bedika and okay, Miracle and what is her name? Yeah, Amrita. Bedika and Amrita, for you two. You both have one question. What do you mean by the word called as a pen portrait? What is the meaning of the word called as a pen portrait? I want the quick answer from you two. Anyone can give the quick answer out of you two. What is the meaning of the word pen portrait?
Sir, it's like giving a short description of someone.
Of someone. Okay. Yes, Amrita?
Yes, so it's giving a description about someone informally.
Yep. It's correct. The meaning of the word called as a pen portrait is called as an informal description. Informal description of a person or a group of people who work together in a same profession. Very good. Yes. Next to these two, Spandan and Saswat. Spandan and Saswat, for you this question, which of the following, or let me give you also some answer option to this. Why is the word still? Why is the word still, S-T-I-L-L? Why is the word still used in the sentence that called as a, this is a pen picture of a traditional Goan village baker who still has an important place in its society. Why still is used?
The still is used here to show the reader that even if the time changes, the importance of breads and loaves for the people present there remains enough.
Yes, Saswat, can you?
Repeat the sentence. Exactly, I'm confused.
This is a pen portrait of a traditional Goan village baker who still has an important place in his society. Why is the word still used in the sentence?
It means that it has an importance in the past time and in the present time also. It has
Kya keh rahe ho? Present, past. Okay, let me point out the word still, right? As far as Spandan said, yes, although the Portuguese have left Goa, the tradition are practiced in modern day, right? That is what the author tries to say, pen portrait of a traditional Goan village. So once you are saying that, the author is trying to describe the traditional Goa village baker who still has an importance. It means still representing that in modern day also, these baker has the importance and are still are practiced in modern age. That is what it tries to tell us. The meaning of still is called as a contrasting to traditional and representing to modern day, right? Okay, so next to yes, Pali, Swati and Somya, right? The next one will be Pali and Miracle. So Swati and Somya, out of you two, you give the questions answer to this particular question. Please do listen to this. The sentence, this is a pen portrait of a traditional Goan village baker who still has an important place in its society. The same sentence. In the sentence, the statement is given who still has an important place in his society is an example of which of the following clauses? Which of the following clauses? Is it the example of noun clause? Is it the example of noun clause? I'm writing here. Noun clause. Or is it the example of relative clause? Relative clause. Or is it the example of adjective clause? Adjective clause. Or is it the example of adverb clause? Which clause it refers to? Swati or Somya? Tell me, noun clause, relative.
Noun clause.
Do you understand what did I say? In the sentence, who still has an important place in its society is an example of which of the following clauses? Yes, Somya, what do you think? Is it a noun clause, adjective clause, adverb clause, which clause it is?
Sir, can you say the whole question again?
My question to both is that who still has an important place in its society? ये जो पूरा का पूरा सेंटेंस है ये कौन सा एग्जाम्पल का मीन्स which is this particular sentence is an example of which of the clause, which of the clause or clauses. Sentence is what? Who still has an important, let me write here. The sentence is called as a who still has and who still has an important place in his society. Yeah, tell me. Tell me what kind of a clause it is.
Relative.
I'm asking to Sasut, I have not asked you to give the answer. Please allow Swati.
Sir, I have typed and wrongly
Why did
pressed
you type it?
enter.
Sasut?
Sir, at last I was thinking to.
Okay. Soumya and Swati. Soumya, can you tell me the answer? Okay. So let me point out, the answer would be noun clause, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Why? Why it is a noun clause?
It is stating about a person.
Stating about the person. Then why you are not sure about it?
Sir, I told at first it was
See,
noun.
but you are not sure about it. Let me point out here it is stated about baker. Goan village baker. Goan village baker. So it is a noun, right? It is a noun.
Yes.
So this one is complete clause. So this complete clause is referring to whom? Who still has an important place in his society? Na Goan village baker, right? This is why it is called as a noun clause, right? So fine, guys. I hope we enjoyed a lot. Last for the miracle and Pali. Pali and miracle. For you, this question. I'm just trying to class between two different groups. Yes. The question is called as a, this would be a little tougher. Okay. The fire in this furnace has not yet been extinguished. The fire in this furnace, please do note down them. Question, agar समझ में ना आए तो बोलिएगा. The fire in this furnace, this is the test, right? The fire in the furnace has not yet been extinguished. The third and jingle of traditional baker's bamboo, heralding his arrival in the morning, can still be heard in some places, right? Some places. So, Pali and the miracle for you. The question is, the narrator says that the narrator says that the furnace where what we say, time tested. The furnace were time tested. Time tested because tell me the answer. The narrator says that the furnaces were time tested. Why? Pali and miracle.
Sir,
Yeah, who is giving the answer first?
sir, me.
Okay, me means your name is
Sir,
me.
Sir, Polly. Sir, it means that sir, from the oldest time it still exists. Like it has not been extinguished yet.
Yeah, miracle, give me the answer. Yeah, miracle, give me the answer. Miracle. Okay, so I would consider Pali's answer. Yes, this would be called as a not exactly the same thing, but I would like to make it little clear that when it is said, the narrator says that the furnace were time tested because the narrator wanted to point out that those people who are called as a padders or backers, so they had proved that what? Now their baking bread or called as a bangle, right? Or um, designed food, right? Which have been test of time and were working well in the past and still being continuing, right? That is what called as a time tested. The meaning of time tested is called as a something which is successfully working well. That will be the answer. Very good, Pali. So, well, guys, we'll leave the class now, or we'll wind up the class now, right? We'll meet in the next class. Till then, bye-bye. Thank you. Next class, we'll continue with the second and third chapter, third text.
So when is the next class?
Thank you, sir.
I'll tell you, I'll send you the text. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Till then, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
I enjoyed the most. She left.